Good morning, everyone. I decided today I was going to be making another very interesting video. I had a lot of people ask me about the bigger earth, and today we're going to talk about what I see on the bigger earth. First, let's talk about this. When I started to go out, I was talking to Zanfast, and he goes, could you please relook at what's going on, and can you go back to the beginning of this thing that we're on and how it was formed, and what are you seeing, and everything else. And I'm like, oh, okay. So the first thing I did was I started to go out, and I had done a video on the double rainbows and found that I saw something I didn't see before. Because sometimes when I remote view or I go out, it's hard to see when I bilocate or what have you, what you're actually in. It's like standing in a cloud and trying to describe what's around you when you're in the cloud and you're trying to describe the cloud. It isn't until you get out of that and then look back down on it that you can actually see, okay, the cloud is gray and white and it's shaped like this or what have you. So I did a video on the double rainbows and said that there was an outer shield being put on, which there is. But this is what else I found. Our dome had another dome put over it. And this is why when you see the double rainbows that we've been seeing for the last couple of years, it's not only the one that's out there, yes, but you can't see that one in the double rainbow. It's the actual dome that was put over the dome. It's like double shielding. And then I have to ask myself, why do we need a double shield or a double lockdown? Exactly. A double lockdown, a double dome. And I was really thinking, this is crazy. They've double domed us. What's this all about? Well, if you wanted to keep something in and didn't want it to get out, you're going to double dome it. So this is why we've been double domed. Certain aspects in here, which you know, the cabal, what have you, they don't want it getting out. So, or it, they, whatever. It's been double domed. So, let's go off of that subject and go on to what I saw outside on the bigger earth. First off, let's go back to the beginning. What this actually is. You know, when you look through telescopes, or Donnie Daytona on his channel, he nails it. He has those drone things and they go high and he can really focus in on the supposed stars, and they're kind of like morphing like this the whole time, and it's an energy being, and it's outside of, let's just call it the cosmic egg. Martin Kenny talks about the cosmic egg. He's so close it's not even funny, but it's even more than that. So Martin Kenny is another one, and he talks about this cosmic egg. Perfect name to call it, cosmic egg. So, when I was looking at this thing, I noticed when I look back that what we are on is an energy being, but it began to die. And so the outside of it started to get hard and crust. And it looked like it went through some kind of process, because Gaia, which is the energy being we're on, she's still alive, but she's been diminished. And she's inside of the hardened, crushed shell. And it did some kind of, I've got, my sinuses are draining this morning. We've lost all humidity, and now my sinuses are clearing up, but they are chemtrailing really bad outside. So anyway, here we go again. So the outer shell of this energy being has died. And in the process of dying, although she's still alive, she's not fully dead, it solidified and it had some kind of reaction. And all the craters that you're seeing, which the reflection on our dome is the bigger earth, and you see all these craters, that's like, I don't know if it's gases or what it is, but it's like, I don't know if it's really extremely hot or really extremely cold, because I felt both. It bubbled. And Zanbass said, are these impacts from the craters? And I said, no, They're not impacts. It's internal. It's like getting boils on your skin, and then they pop, and then they go like that. That's why they all look the same. Different sizes, but think of them like boils. Bubbling up, making a big thing, and then popping down. So these aren't impacts, and I was so surprised because I kept thinking, oh, they're impacts. They've got to be impacts. Oh, no, they're not. It has nothing to do with being impacted. All the craters on the moon, which is us, the bigger Earth, it's a bubbling, some kind of reaction thing from the living being. And the reason it's solid is because that part of her already diminished and died. It almost looked like her energy was being diminished, and so she became smaller. Gaia is still alive, and we can still feel her. She's there. Even on our little bitty crater, we can still feel her. Of course we can, because she's still alive. So then I saw that, and I'm like, okay, now let me see what else I can see, because I had to go back for that, which there's, of course, no such thing as back and forward. There's only the now. But I went to that point in the figure 8, because we're running this pattern of figure 8. It's like a circle flipped over on itself. If you're new to my channel, please go watch video 3 and 5, but I suggest you watch them all, because I say things in all of them. And if you have any questions, most likely, if you watch my videos, they probably will get answered. If you have any questions about anything, do not hesitate to ask. I will look and I will find the answers, even if it takes me a couple of tries, because sometimes I don't see the whole picture. Sometimes I'm either too close to it or too far away, and I have to go at different points to see the whole thing when it's huge. So, let's talk about what's out there. First off, our ecosystem is completely artificial. Looks like in these craters, all throughout our bigger Earth, they can make the ecosystem they desire for whatever life form is out there. Because remember, all the physical extraterrestrials with physical bodies are from the bigger Earth. That's why they're called extraterrestrials, extra land. They come from the bigger Earth. Energy beings, like the stars that you're seeing, that are not corporeal, they're outside in the salted water, because outside of this cosmic egg is salty water. I know that's crazy, but there you go. That's what it is. We've been so lied to. We've been so lied to. So, putting all these pieces together from Roger, Mud Fossil University, where he's found enormous things through scanning, what have you, and looking at our tiny little crater that we're living in, and these things couldn't possibly be existing here because of the ecosystem being so small. And I had done a video about how they shrank the firmament so that they could get us smaller. So out there, things are enormous. I see this one sea that's so enormous. You could probably put 1,000 of our little snow globes into the sea alone. And they have leviathans. I couldn't stop focusing off the sea alone. It was just, the things in this sea are leviathan, beyond leviathan. Could you imagine sea life so enormous that we are the size of plankton, literally, to a whale? That's what I'm talking about, leviathan. So, wow, I may not be posting this video. My sinuses are draining. But it's the same out there as it is in here, but on a grander scale. And that's in the parts that aren't domed. The parts that are domed are controlled living scenarios. They're just like us. They've been manipulated. They've been controlled. So you can have an environment to a desert, like kind of a thing, or you can have jungle, or you can have, they're all varying. Because think of each crater on the bigger Earth being domed and an ecosystem being placed in there. And whatever the ecosystem is depends on what life resides in there. It's like going to a museum or maybe a science center, and you can go, or even like topiary gardens, where Longwood Gardens is a great example. You can go into different sections of Longwood Gardens, and this is the desert area, and this is the tropical area, and this is the whatever area. It's the same thing on the bigger earth. It's very varied. Now, the things that are not inside the dome, some of it can be a little bit rocky or what have you, and there's life. And it's not gray, it's actually blue. And it's blue, just like it is here, because of the salted water above. Because remember, this is all still in that toroidal field. So, very interesting. I saw diversity of life like you can't even imagine. Yes, we have a big diversity here. We had a bigger one before everything started dying, before it was starting to be murdered because of the cabal murdering everything through geoengineering of death. Because basically that's what it was. And they're trying to kill everything in here. Of course they are. So they have their own nasty agendas. And they're not to benefit man. So outside of there, everyone needs to start going into their imagination. First, you're going to need to decalcify your pineal gland. I'm sure if you can go online and find things, I think charcoal, some kind of charcoal, peroxide, or what is it called, borax, a little bit of that. All these things can decalcify your pineal gland. But you'll have to learn how to go to these sites and find out how much you need to take, how long you need to take it to help get these heavy metals and fluorides and things out of your body that calcify you so you can become activated. I drink out of a copper, I put my water in a copper pot because copper takes out heavy metals. So that's what I've done for many years. The water that I drink comes out of a copper pot. If you drink copper water, it's really good for you too. Very good for you. You should let it sit for at least 24 hours in the copper pot. Make sure it's copper, 100%. You don't want a secondary metal inside of the copper. At that point, it's useless. It's got to be fully copper. So inside has to be copper. Look, I just put the water in yesterday, and look at all the heavy metals it already got. You should see the inside of my water pot. It's like every other day I have to take salt and lemon. You can take concentrated lemon and salt, or you can use a real lemon, and that's the only thing you clean this with, salt and lemon, and get it kind of like a liquidy. And the acidity will take all this off and look brand new again. And it's very inexpensive. I think salt's like 40 cents for a container, and you're going to use about this much salt in the bottom, and then make sure it's liquidy with the lemon, and then just swirl it around and take a sponge or something and wipe the whole thing, and instantly it's cleaned. And it's inexpensive. The salt and lemons are cheap. Or you can concentrate a lemon, whatever. I digress. But we have to start making sure, please go watch video 2, which is about my nutrition. You really are what you eat. If you don't eat correctly, you can't function, and you need to learn how to function. I just saw a thing on Alzheimer's and dementia, and found that there were 4 things you needed to have in your diet because it's some kind of inflammation. My mother just died of this. I wish I would have known about this. It's like taking your arm and dipping it to a vat of oil, and that is what's on your brain, that oil. But it's got some kind of inflammation. And folic acid was huge, and that's found in nuts and things. And then there was 3 other things, but basically broccoli, cabbage, nuts, oranges, strawberries. This stuff is all found in these foods to stop you from getting dementia and Alzheimer's. And you knock out the processed food, you knock out a lot of things that are horrific for you, like the sugars, the processed food. If your body can't recognize it, it stores it, and it causes inflammation on your brain. It'll give you brain fog and all kinds of things. So eat your vegetables and fruits. They should be the number 1 thing in your diet. But I'm talking about everything this morning. And stay off those processed foods. Don't put them in your body. But let's go back to the bigger earth. So I'm looking at the bigger earth and I'm seeing the diversity of life. And I'm seeing that we really are just a very small part on the bigger earth. There's so much to explore. This whole thing about there's too many people. No, there's not. We're not even a speck on the bigger earth. And actually, we're not that many people. We have pockets of people that are a lot because we've been pushed to go to these one individual areas in their cities. And you have this example all over the world. And so then the cabal points to this, too many people, look at all these people. Well, you've pushed them all out of the countrysides into these cities, and now you're saying there's too many of us. The whole thing is, it's been a plot. It's been a plot from the beginning. How do we get the people from out of the country, push them into small spaces, and then start screaming, you're the problem, you're the cause? No. People did not create the issue. The cabal did. The AI cabal did. And the cabal is, what do they call that? The deep state? The whatever. The military complex? Deep state? The dark agenda? So, the bigger earth is fabulous. Most of it's unspoiled. There is a lot of life out there. They've got their schnizzle together, but not in all of the craters. Some of the craters are still being run by the same cabal members. I do watch Corey Good, and I watch David Wilcock, and I will tell you that Corey Goody, you never went to outer space. You went to the bigger earth. And the reason you weren't allowed to see where you were going is because you needed to be duped. You were always on the bigger earth. You were not in the outer space. You never were. So he's not going to handle that. Matter of fact, I just saw something he did, and I saw immediately that they had made him sick. They did something to him and gave him bacteria. And the reason his family didn't get sick is because there's no such thing as viruses like that. There never was. And now they made him believe that there's this coronavirus because he got so deathly ill. And he stayed in his house like they told him to, which was a ploy, because all of this is about Russell J. Gould, Joseph Gregory Hallett, and Trump. And this whole thing about the masks and all of it, it's about making sure that they divert your attention and scare you to death that you don't see what's really happening. And what's really happening, there's a house cleaning going on. And if anybody sees this, please spread the word. Please spread the word. And I really like these people, but they have been misled by the deep state. And if anybody says, oh, well, there's some big stuff going down, but you don't need to know. No. Something seriously wrong with that. You do need to know. And it's what's going down. It's the war castles. Please, everybody go watch War Castles. And that's the big secret. They don't want you to know. All of this with the virus and separating people, this is all so you can't see what's happening right in front of you. It's a lie. It's a huge secret lie. And you do have the right to know. And you don't have to ask your deep state military if you have permission to know what's going on. You're in this snow globe and you have every right to know what's going on. This concerns you. And the moment someone says it's only on a need-to-know basis, I hate to say it, but that's how I feel. I'll tell you what you need to know. I need to tell you that you need to wake up. Yes, I hate to be vulgar, but that's how I feel. I've gotten to the point now, I've gotten some haters on here, and they are seriously directed at me, where I've had to ban them, that they don't want me putting this information out. No military has the right to tell you you need to know when I tell you you need to know. I grew up as military. And let me tell you something. They brainwash you. Do what I say when I say it. If I say jump off the cliff, you jump off the cliff. This is the military mentality. Because this is how they break you down. And they're the bully and they control you. Because they are a bully. And this is how they get everyone to kill each other. This military, that military, and they're all in one big conglomerate military anyway. Nobody knows that. We're made to believe we're all separate. And we're fighting this and fighting that. No. They're getting us to kill each other. And this is why the military, this needs to go. This needs to go. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have military. I'm saying the mentality needs to go, where human beings are pitted against each other like pit bulls in a ring, because that's what it is. So they can kill each other, and then they bet on who's going to win. But it's even worse than that. It's literally to cull civilizations with these fake wars that they're producing. Okay, I'm digressing again. Oh boy, am I on a tangent this morning. So I just get a little bit disturbed when I see people that I know are genuine and they've been so deceived. Like Corey Goody. He's been so deceived. He's a good guy, but mental brainwashing, what can I say? They do it to a lot of people. So, all right, so the bigger earth, fantastic. I'm going to, how do I begin to talk about a place that's so enormous and each ecosystem is so varyingly different depending on how they've designed it. And it's literally done by design. Nothing is really natural. Everything is done by design. At least in these craters they are. So I guess I won't talk about that too much more. I know everyone's going to be like, but talk more. And it's like, wow. How do you even begin? I guess I could take one, for example. I went to this one crater. I don't know what you call it. And these beings were interesting. They were kind of blue looking. And it's most beautiful there. It's like, all right. The land, yes, there's stuff like grass. It's like they took pieces from these different experiments, if you want to call it that, realities, these craters, and they put a lot of that into ours. So we have a lot of all them other ones. Ours is very diverse. Our snow globe is so diverse. It used to be more than it is now. Where we have bits and pieces of what's out there in the different snow globes. They really, really jam-packed a lot into this snow globe from the diversity. Some of those snow globes are only this and only that, say only the deserty areas or only the tropical areas or only this and only that, where ours has been really diversified. We have a lot of that other stuff, but we don't have it all. We have parts of it. So I don't know how to begin to describe that. We're very diverse in here. They put a lot into this snow globe, and I can see why they don't want this one to go to hell, because they put a lot into this snow globe. There are other snow globes like this one that are really diverse, but there's not a whole lot of them. So, all right then, I am so rambling this morning. My mind is going 1,000 miles an hour. I'm thinking here. I am really having a hard time pulling together the day because I'm on every topic, doing everything. I really need to center today. Okay, so let me drink some more coffee, try to center, and get focused on one topic. It's so hard when there's so much to talk about. So, all right, I'm going to make this short, and I will be doing another video probably tomorrow, and I'm going to try to get more centered, and I'm not all over the world, all over the bigger earth. Okay, everybody have a great day. Bye.